Hello and welcome to Community Update. I am Promise Okoy and I'll be your host. On today's episode, I'm privileged to have in the studio a member of the Nigerian community. He's the CEO of Shizo Technologies. He is a free thinker, someone who everyone would like to listen, talk about technology, talk about community development and stuff like that. So without further ado, it's good to have you in the studio, Seun.
Thank you, Promise. Thank you for having me.
Like I said, you describe yourself like someone who loves technology because that's been your field for quite a bit. I know you personally, but what is it that you want people to know more about you?
Well, my name is Seun Ashiru, just like you mentioned. I'm that guy that started my technology-driven journey, about 15 years ago. But interestingly, my first degree was in applied physics with electronics, and just close to when I was leaving school, I saw the future of technology, and I abandoned my intention of going through the research and scholarly way, and started, technology in the area of networking, right. IT infrastructure and the likes. And along the line, I moved into web, which obviously is that area of technology that has driven me so much, and with so much passion, right. Helping businesses succeed, online, which is like very, very big with me. So in my experience and my journey, I've worked with small and medium businesses, helping them with shared services, to cater for their IT needs and the likes. And we've been able to help businesses grow, in their various segments. And I've also from there moved into the marketplace where I now, sell, products, technology products.
Clearly, you are a big player within that space. And we've talked several times pre this interview, and you've told me a lot of experience you've had in Nigeria. But let's talk about since arriving here. What has been your experience around entrepreneurship business that our viewers need to know?
Okay, so I migrated recently to Canada, October 2022.
Okay.
And prior to that, I've been, in business of selling gadgets, back home in Nigeria, in one of the biggest open markets in Africa, popularly known as Computer Village. Okay. And so there I sold all sorts of devices and accessories, for about 5 years, before coming to Canada. And so coming to Canada was a different jurisdiction for me and a different market, different ways of doing business back home compared to here. And so what I did basically was to first understand what the ecosystem is like, Right. I did my research, before coming to Canada, and I understood exactly where to sell, how to sell, and who to sell to. And I remember that my first sales was at my Airbnb, second day of my arriving in Canada. I sold a phone in Airbnb. I understood what it is to exchange money, from, people here. And so I started to do more research about my area of business. But because my area of business is that which has a big player, I had to look for how to carve a niche for my business, right. Which is selling used laptops. And I've been selling used laptops for over a year now, through my website, through Facebook, and through the community, in general.
And what has been the response so far from those who have patronized you? Because you seem to be selling something that pretty much is around, and people can pretty much go into marketplace, Facebook marketplace, to get the same thing. How is yours different, and how does it impact your community?
Okay, so for me personally, I have 3 things that I take very important. Is first of all, good relationship. Right. Is confidence, in what you're buying, and also affordability. So these are the 3 things I've actually, focused on. That if I meet one person today, I must create a good impression, build that relationship. Then obviously make you have confidence in buying a used laptop, which obviously people have low confidence in doing, Then affordability, making you understand that you can get value for your money, as against, spending times 4 or 5 of that amount, and you should be able to, get what you want. Being someone in the technical space, I can tell you that this laptop will function for you if you're a digital person or if you're an architect and all of that. So I can advise people on the type of devices to use. So that has really helped me. I've met with different people, and, obviously Canada has, different mix of people, and I make sure that they always give good reviews and feedbacks, and for that is always helped the business to grow, and also within the community. Maybe I would say the Nigerian community, I ensure that they are catered for well, and also I started something last year too, was which was helping Nigerians or people within my community where I live, the district of Spryfield, fix their computer related issues, for free, and render these services in a way that they are excited, and all of that. So there are also new immigrants,
who are struggling
financially. I make sure that they call and say, how do we do this? Yeah, you can do it that way. These things are very easy to do.
So it reminds me of the event you and I attended. I mean, apparently we met there again, and your name came up as one of the donors of a whole laptop to a student, free of charge. Tell us about that experience, and what have people been saying about that one?
Well, for me, it was supposed to be, let us, put a laptop in the hands of someone that really needs it.
Right.
And obviously the students will be the best, because obviously they are struggling sometimes with, making sure that, they can't work full time, to be able to afford some certain things, so
it was quite emotional, actually, I must say, and, for the student to have it.
Yes. So we feel like, because I've met students, regular. I'm also a student running a program in Dow. So I maybe because I'm in that constituency,
so
I
you
also empathize, so okay, let's do it. And it's also part of giving back to the community in terms of, we've gotten patronage, we've gotten support, let's give. And we look forward to giving more.
That is interesting, and I think the community will be excited to see more of these things happen. Before we get into the big announcement of that project, I want to also see, how can entrepreneurs here in Nova Scotia take advantage of the potential enormous opportunities that we seem to have within this space? Because we're discussing before the interview, and you talked about making sure that the money circulates within the community, creating plugs, for other people to do. And so tell us more about that idea.
So because I come from a market that has different stages or different sections of the value chain, where you have the food soldier to the retailer to the supplier and all that. We've seen money flow around and everybody is fine, everybody's happy. I feel like in the Nigerian community too, we could, plug ourselves into different value chain. For instance, let's say there's someone that is in construction. Why don't we have more people that are carpenters, more people that are plumbers, rendering these services such that people in that space can, take their services. If we have different businesses, how do other people come in and supply those businesses and, and be able to, collaborate?
But there could be, sorry to cut in, there could be some skepticism in some areas, because some might feel like I need to trust this person, haven't had their fingers burnt in the past in business dealings. I mean, how do you speak to that aspect, and how do people make sure that they are trusted? Because you talked about earning the trust from those who patronize you in business.
As a matter of fact, I'm very big on accountability and trust, because one of the things that also led to me having this passion was back in Nigeria, in the market where I operated, market that has huge disadvantage in the area of trust in terms of sellers. I saw it firsthand, so what I did was to build a platform that will bring in the trusted sellers and have them, sell from this platform.
Right.
And people review them on those platforms. And for that reason, there is a zero tolerance for not doing the right thing, so that is one of the ways to check accountability, to make sure that people are trusted. Now, the thing is, there's no perfect service. But the thing is, services can always be improved. So I think that as long as we're accountable, where we listen to what the customers are saying, and we remediate issues that may come up at any time, then I think that it will be fine. But whoever is not able to play, according to the rules, obviously will be left out.
Seun, let's go into that project, the Niger Bee's project. What is it about, really, broadly speaking, and how does it, again, benefit members of your community, the Nigerian community here?
Okay, so for me, basically, I remember I patronized the Nigerian business, selling a food that is peculiar to us back home. And when I visited him, I liked the food, but I realized
it was at Nova Scotia?
Yes, in Halifax,
Okay.
And I realized it didn't have that online presence because it was just someone that told me in the community. And we were able to set him up with something as basic as Google Business. And 2 weeks later, he called me and he said that...
Was that, again, a free...
Yes, it was a free service, definitely.
On,
so 2 weeks later...
You should be campaigning for this, right?
2 weeks later, he called me and he said that an elderly Nigerian man had come to the province for his son's graduation in Dao, and he was living 2 blocks away from where he lived, in an Airbnb, and he wanted to eat that same food.
Wow.
And the only thing he could do was to go online and find that,
I guess you're talking about Amala here.
Yes. Yeah, perfect. So, and that man was able to find out there's someone just 2 blocks away, and he reached out, and they could, and that was how they met, and and that man was so excited. So that really made me to know that this experience or this knowledge that I have, that I've used for many years, can actually be beneficial to the community, knowing fully well that there are people that have services and products to offer. But how do we aggregate these people? How do we bring them together in one space? So that was when the idea of, obviously, what I had done in Nigeria with buy phones and laptops in Computer Village that is doing well for sellers.
Is that still running?
Oh, definitely. If you just Google London used laptops in Lagos, well, there, on the first list there, sellers there are, being patronized, and it's a closed kind of system. So, but yeah, we have a community that we know each other. So the idea of NaijaBiz.ca is to bring in these businesses in the community, give them an online presence. Because the thing about directories is that it's actually very SEO friendly.
Okay.
So the moment businesses come on directories, Google feels more excited to present this businesses.
Sorry, for clarity, this is a business directory.
Yes.
Is it focused on the Nigerian community alone? And is it Nova Scotia exclusive, or how is that?
Good question. So for now, it's focused on the Nigerian-owned businesses in Canada, which means across all provinces, from the west to the north, every part of, Nigerian-owned businesses. So it's also a location-based service where once you get to the platform on your phone or your computer, it tells you to accept location. So if it's Halifax, it shows Halifax and gives you the businesses around Halifax. So the guy in Edmonton will have a different experience, of the businesses around him. So the idea is to scale this, to build more people come on board, and people, the platform has review system where people can review,
provide that review.
Yes, so sellers can also have access to a dashboard, an interactive dashboard, where they can add listings, change stuff, and and
is it restrictive to specific businesses or just all
businesses that are, we'll say, that are not crossing the legal boundaries, legal boundaries of Canada.
Okay.
Obviously, some businesses are restricted by licensing and all that stuff. Obviously, those things have to be adhered to.
Yeah. So, do you have some security kind of processes in place to check what business should be on this platform? Because you don't want to be you don't want to enable some, what I mean? Negative businesses.
Technically, no businesses goes live, even if you register. There has to be a vetting at the back end, definitely we'll reach out to the business owner, we'll know more about the business, and we say, okay, yeah, we can obviously circle back to stakeholders within that, do you know this business? Have you done, then if we are cool, then as long as it's not breaching the law, as long as we're also fulfilling the privacy law in Canada, the PIPEDA law, and making sure that everything is intact, then we'll let the business go live. Then the seller or the business owner will have access. Yeah.
So how can people enroll, and are there fees to becoming a member of that directory?
Well, as it is known in directories mostly globally, people are, in our own platform, we say businesses should come on board for free.
Okay.
Just listing is for free. At least for now, we're trying to, build a platform. With time, obviously, businesses will want more visibility among other businesses there.
And what would be the benefits of being there? Apart from that visibility, is there going to be some marketing for them, some kind of adverts?
So when you're now looking at marketing, adverts, and all of that, definitely that's a different conversation.
Okay.
That might now require, some subscription. Yeah. Based, arrangement that now makes them...
to enroll is free of
Yes, to enroll is free.
But if you want to take it to another level, advertise for me,
definitely,
all of that, then you have to pay.
But we're still growing. Currently, we are working on making sure that is search engine friendly, making sure that people can search from different locations.
Have you gone live yet?
Oh, it's live. It's live.
And whatever. You have people who have subscribed.
Oh yeah. So we're working with the few businesses that we have interactions with.
Okay.
And they've been willing to allow us use their data.
Okay.
Which obviously, like I said, privacy is we're big on privacy. So we hope to reach out to other businesses one-on-one and tell them, okay, this is what we're doing. Would you like to come on board?
Yeah.
Yes. 2 days ago, I still spoke to a barber in the community, and was so excited to come on board.
Wow.
And it's very skillful, So I believe the other businesses will want to come.
You've touched a critical part, because you see people like even barbers. Some people can come in here, they don't know the right people who can deal with the kind of haircuts that people from that sub-region, would need.
Yes.
But in closing, I think you need to speak to the entrepreneurs within the community. And some are probably doing very well, but there are some obviously that are left behind because they don't know how to get around things and take advantage of benefit, resources and stuff like that. Do you have a word for them?
Well, what I would say is we need to embrace collaboration. Okay. And like the words of a business owner here that once said in a session I had, competition, let's cooperate and also compete in the marketplace. One thing we need to know is that this market share is actually not too big. Okay. The earlier we try to come together and expand that market share, the better for us.
Absolutely.
If we don't collaborate, we're going to shrink in even that small market share. Some markets are static, like what we have in some businesses where it is strictly about a group of people. Some markets are dynamic, let us come in, change the space. I think that at the end of the day, like we say in our local parlance, make we share money, you get. Let's do it.
Stick around.
Let's stick around.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Wow, Seun, thank you so much for taking the time to come in, and of course for this big announcement. We're looking forward to seeing members of the community, get into it, jump on it, and benefit from it. Thank you for coming.
Thank you for having me.
All right, that was Seun Ashiru. He's the CEO of Shizo Technologies. He has come to the studio to share his thoughts, experiences, as well as some of those exciting news about business directory. Until I come your way again, I'm Promise Okoy. I'll see you soon.